Are you a pitcher struggling with tight hips and poor hip mobility? I'm going to show you today several exercises that you can do with just your foam roller to work on improving your hip mobility and why you need to start working on this today. How do I know this? I'm Dr. Jeff Lewis. I'm the owner and physical therapist of Lewis Physical Therapy and Sports Rehab in Point Pleasant, New Jersey, and I have helped countless baseball players get back to throwing pain-free and get stronger. So for today, we're going to just focus on foam rolling for hip mobility. So in the context of a pitcher, we need a large degree of hip mobility in order to maintain proper throwing mechanics, generate force, and transfer force. So we need hip flexion, which is this hip coming up. We need hip extension, which is the leg going behind us. And then we need internal rotation, which is that hip rotating, the foot rotating out like that. And internal rotation of your leg going out like this, and then external rotation of your leg going in like this. So we need a bunch of different movements of the hip along with a abduction going out and a deduction coming in. We need all of them to a certain degree. So it's not uncommon for there to be muscular restrictions that can impede this hip mobility and flexibility. Joint mobility is also a big thing here that we would focus on. I'm not going to talk about that for the context of today's video. So all you're going to need is a foam roller here. And the first thing we're going to start on is foam rolling the back of the hip, the glutes on the side, the big glute max behind there, some deep hip rotators as well. So what we're going to do to start, you're going to take that foam roller and you're going to put it on the side of your hip like so. Now, what I say for almost all foam rolling when we start here is don't go 100% body weight on the foam roller right away. You want to make sure you gradually ease into it. If you go too much too soon, you're going to end up probably causing the muscle to just tighten up and not relax, which is, we don't necessarily want that. So I like to have one hand out to the side here. My other foot's on the ground, so I'm offloading from there. And I'm really just working throughout that glute muscle on the side. And as a general rule of thumb for foam rolling, I always start with what we call scanning. So I'm really just scanning for, hey, what are some tight areas here that are maybe a little more tender, sore than others? Once I find one of those, then I'm going to hang out there for a little bit, so maybe 30 seconds to a minute. I'm taking some nice deep breaths in and out. And as I breathe out, I'm maybe giving a little bit extra pressure or some small oscillations back and forth like this. So once I've worked on the side of that glute there, then I'm going to come into this seated position here. I'm going to take that, stand with the right leg. I'm going to put it in a figure 4 position like so. And now I'm maybe going to get a little more towards the back of the glute into the deeper rotators, maybe down towards the butt down here a little bit. These might be a little bit more tender than others, so just make sure you're being cautious with how aggressive you're going with that, okay? So the next thing we're going to do after that is for the quad muscles. So from here, you're going to go ahead and go onto your forearms like so. The foam roller is going to be starting at the top of your hip. And again, you're really just rolling back and forth, finding some spots. I would recommend you turn your foot in so you get the outer part of that quad a little bit, and then out to get the inner part. Once you find that spot, like we talked about before, you can do some small oscillations or you can do some pin and stretch. So I'm keeping the foam roller on that spot while I'm doing some knee movements. Again, I'm almost pushing myself off the floor with my forearms here. I'm not letting my whole body weight come down. All right, so now the next thing we're going to do then is for the groin. So for the groin, I'm going to take the foam roller and I want to put it vertically like so. For my left groin, I'm going to have my right leg straight. I'm going to be on my forearms here, and that foam roller is going to be like so with my leg out to the side. So I'm going to start towards the knee, and then I'm working a little bit more in towards the groin as I move a little bit further in. Same thing, finding some spots, maybe doing a little bit some oscillations back and forth, and then moving to another spot. Okay. The last one we would probably do is working on the hamstrings. So again, you can go both legs together like so, or you can go just one leg at a time. But again, I'm really just offloading myself here, finding different spots back and forth. Again, if only one hamstring's really tight, then I would go the single leg variation like this. Finding it, you can do some foot and ankle pumps here while you're doing that, going from all the way up towards the butt, down towards the back of the knee. So those are several different foam rolling exercises you can do to work on improving hip mobility. Like I said before, start light. Don't go 0 to 100% body weight right away. It's just going to probably cause that muscle to tighten up versus relax. Focus on sustained, gradual pressure over that 30 seconds to a minute at each area. nice slow breaths as well. So if you're a baseball player or pitcher, you're looking for ways to improve your performance, and you have questions on how to do so, go ahead and leave a comment below, and like and subscribe to our channel. We put out a ton of weekly content dedicated specifically to baseball player rehab and performance.